Hi, it's Tracy here. I wanted to talk to you today about family constellations. There's a lot of people who've had a family constellation with me, and they do the amazing thing that people do. They go out into the community and they tell people about the work. They go, I had this amazing family constellation with Tracy. And they go and it was one-on-one, and we used horse figurines. And people say, well, how could that possibly work? I've only ever done family constellations where I've gone to a group weekend where people are actually representing me and my ancestors. So the reason I love doing one-on-one, and it's actually my preferred way to work, is because of the depth that I'm able to go to when working one-on-one. So what we do, instead of using people to represent in family constellations one-on-one with me, we bring horses out, and the horses will represent me. That one prefers to be like that. They will represent my family, and then they will represent my ancestors. And we go back as far as we need to. So what happens is when you bring it out, we actually start, I don't know why I brought 4 out because I only need 3. We start with, the first thing I do in a family constellation is I bring out myself. If I bought a horse to represent myself, I bring out a horse to represent my mother, I bring out a horse to represent my father, and I just place them anywhere that I feel they go. I don't actually need any rhyme, any reason, anything at all. It's a feeling. This is where the work becomes somatic, and we really just go with feeling. And then what we do is we check in with them. And this is where you come in as the client. The work happens through your body. So I ask that you check in with each one. So I would say, if we were doing my family, I would say, how's Tracy feeling over here? And I do that for a very specific reason, because we need to keep the energy clear between each participant. And I'll show you how we do that. When you have people representing you, there are literal people standing up there in the energy field and representing the soul of each person. These horses are doing exactly the same thing. But because it's the client, it's your body that's shifting between them, we keep that energy clear. So we check in and we say, how's Tracy feeling right now? And it's not how I'm feeling in regards to my story in my head around my parents. If I put them out, say if this is my mum and this is my dad, it's not my story of how it is. I literally feel into my body. What are you feeling in your body? Take a breath. I'm feeling quite energized, a little bit angry. I'm looking off in this direction and I'm not sure why. And then I ask things like, can you see your mum and your dad? And you go, oh, I can kind of see my dad there, and I can faintly see my mum, but my focus is actually over here. Now, this isn't actually my story. I just like doing different things for representation, so don't get excited about this being a constellation for me, because I do this daily. When I have clients, I bring 3 out and I show them. But what I'm showing you this for is because I'm not attaching a story that I have about my parents to the feelings I'm having. I'm just saying how I'm feeling. And every bit of feedback is information. If, however, I'm asking you that and you're feeling into that and you go, I actually feel really angry and my anger's going here at the moment. I feel really angry towards my mum, and it might have something to do with this. You know, I might have a story attached to it going, you know, whatever. I'm not going to do it. And then when we do that, we come out of that energy, and then we go in and we go, okay, I'd like you to check in with your mum. Your mum's name is Chris. Check in with Chris. And so we place our hands on Chris, and then we feel into the energy and we go, oh, I'm looking off in this direction. I can see my daughter there. I'm not sure why she's up like that. And I can kind of see my husband here. That's enough. We get out of that energy. We go into the father. We see where he's going. He's actually looking in the same direction as his wife here. And when I speak to people, when they're in this position, my dad's name's Glenn, I'll say, how's Glenn going? How's Glenn feeling? Well, what does Glenn think about that? What do you feel in your body, Glenn, when that's happening? And that is because I don't want to mix up my energy, the client's energy. If I said, Tracy, how's Glenn feeling? then the energy all gets mixed up. And how do I know that it's not Tracy putting feelings into Glenn or Tracy putting feelings into Chris, her mum? We actually need to keep the energy clear. So that's why when I speak to people, I go, how's Glenn feeling? And what clients will do when they haven't done this before, and this is why it's great to do the 2-hour session, because it takes a good 15 minutes for people to kind of really get into what's going on and really start shifting within their body. It's a beautiful way to do it. And if I said, so Tracy, how's Glenn doing? Then I would have a story about how he's doing right now. Well, I spoke to him the other day and this is what's going on. I think he feels this way. And when people say, I think, I know we're not quite there yet. We've got a little bit more work to do to get into the body. And so that's where I say, so what are you feeling in your body, Glenn? And you see it switch in the client's brain and they go, oh, okay, you mean Glenn? And I'm like, yes, that's right. I'm wanting to talk to Glenn right now. And that's where the different feeling will come in the body. And that's where all the story goes away. And then we actually work on what's being presented from the soul in the family system for the exact healing that you've chosen to come and have on that day. So that's how we get the authentic soul work, somatic soul work healing done when you're working with me in family constellations and you do it one-on-one with horses. I just wanted to show you how when you have people representing you, whilst it's very authentic and amazing, because I've done heaps of those sessions as well, and I haven't met anyone yet who's role-playing or who's bringing their own stuff over the top of what's actually happening from the soul. It's a beautiful thing to watch people represent in family systems. But this is another way that you can do it. And why I really love doing it this way, it's my preferred way to do it these days, is because of the depth that I can go to with you. So if we're in a group session, the most that I would be able to do with you in a group session, if we turn up for a weekend, is to be able to do myself, and I would probably be able to bring these two in, but I would only be able to go down one line of the family tree. So we would have to look at what's going on, and I would need to just go down. This is me, my dad's dad. So we could only kind of go this far in the family constellation if we're working in a group situation with people representing each other. But the beauty of what I do and what's different about what it is that I do and why I love what I do is because of the depth. So I believe that if you're carrying something in you now that needs to be healed, whilst this may be the first layer of healing, I don't believe it's the only thing that needs to be healed in order for it to really be gone. Because I believe that these people came together for a reason. If we're only looking at one channel, there is an amount of healing that happens, but imagine what happens when we look at the 4 arms of the family system. Because what I do one-on-one is I will work with, we bring out your mother and your father, and we always look at father's father, father's mother, mother's father, mother's mother. So I will always go, I'll take that away for now, it's been done. I will always go down these lines of the family tree and see where the healing that you've come to have needs to occur. And that's why I love working one-on-one. That's why I really recommend the 2-hour session. And it's $250 for the 2-hour session. It's $150 for a 1-hour session. And in a 1-hour session, you have to choose the path to go down, and you get to go down one arm, and that's it. So if you're wanting to work on, you know there's something with your mum, and you want to work on your mother's mother, then we do that. And that we will go down this line and we will heal what's there, and that will take the full hour. But why not extend yourself into a 2-hour session, and then we get to really get to the depth of it. Because like I was saying before, your first 15 minutes is really getting into the body and getting yourself into family constellations, feeling what's going on, getting used to stepping in and out of the family system. And you've also got to tell me what you're here for. So that takes up a big part of the session. And then the rest of it, to the hour mark, you could do one lane. We add another hour and we can do 3 more arms of the family, because we're in and we're doing it. So while we're there, why not do the lot? And that's why when people come to me for a family constellation, they say it's like 6 months of counselling in one session, because of the depth that we can go to. I simply couldn't do this work with you in counselling without doing multiple sessions over a long period of time. And I'm still not sure that we'd get to the absolute depth of it unless we'd done a family constellation as well. So that's the difference of working with me one-on-one with family constellations and working with the horse figurines, which I love, as opposed to going to see people, which is also an awesome way to do it. I do it myself often. Go and sit in a circle with other people where you ask people to represent for you. And in those times, you sit back and you watch the family constellation unfold before you. This one, you're a lot more active. Everything's happening through your body. And what that means is, if I'm sitting back and I'm watching people represent myself and represent my family members, you don't actually get to step in until right towards the end when a lot of the healing's done, and you get to feel the beauty of it at the end, the really good stuff, juicy stuff. And the representatives actually do all the hard and deep healing work for you. So it's a beautiful way to be able to step back and watch yourself heal in that way. But if you're somebody who runs things through your mind a lot and finds it hard to believe that these things are possible, and it can't possibly do that much depth of healing, then you're not feeling in your own body what's actually happening out there. So how do you understand it? When somebody says, I am so sorry and I take this from you, and etc., etc., we do the healing through the generations. If there's a human representing that part of your ancestry doing that, you can use your mind when you've left the session to go, I'm not sure that that actually happened. I don't really believe that. What I love, this takes it all away. What I love about doing it in this way is when you're feeling that things have been handed back and things have been healed, and you can feel the depth of love coming from parent to child, I make sure I stop and say to people, you can feel in your body that that's true. You're in a representation of that person right now. There's no bullshit here. You can feel that, yeah? And I make sure I do that all the time, and people go, yeah, I can. So remember that. Because if your mind tries to tell you later that it didn't happen, it is a lie, because you can feel it in your body, the healing that's happened. And that's why I love working this way, because it's happening through your body. You get to feel every single person in your ancestry. You get to feel the healing. You get to feel the entanglements, feel it all heal. It all happens through your body. And I think there's a beautiful power to that. So if that's something that you would love to do, please shoot me a DM, or you can book with me via the website, and I would really love to support you to do this work.